Perfect. Okay, here we go. So Transparent Classroom, it's a digital platform, right? It's something that's online. And one of our goals is to keep updated with the times. And so even now, like your doctor's records, right? Everything is like through an app. So Transparent Classroom is the same sort of idea, but for your students' learning records. So it helps the teachers organize because we put our curriculum on there. So the teachers know what is expected of them to teach the students. And then on the parent side, you can see what your student is learning and also actually what they may be learning in the future as well within the primary and toddler age groups. So it's access at your fingertips. And how do you actually get into it? You should have received an email early on that was from notifications@transparentclassroom.com. And it would have said something like, you've been invited to join Arborland Montessori Children's Academy. So no, it wasn't spam, but you would have to accept the invitation that's in the link. And that would lead you to, inputting your profile, signing up, and getting access. Obviously, if you didn't, this is a digital platform and there are parents who are not comfortable with that, and that's okay. You didn't have to accept. We would still be able to, provide you information. It just obviously wouldn't be through this platform. And it wouldn't be as much, to be honest. And we just had a couple people join. Welcome to our Transparent Classroom introduction. So if you did not receive this email, or you have a spouse, a partner who also needs access, you can feel free to just let us know and we will add you or resend you the access email. Questions so far? Okay, so there are two ways that you can actually access this once you're logged in. The first way is a mobile app. The second way is the web browser. The mobile app is probably what most people do because it probably guides you to that immediately once you're on it. And it has a little icon that's like a circle with the red, black, and blue. So that's one way to access it. The second way is the web browser, which you can actually access through your iPhone as well. You would just need to open like your Safari or your Mozilla Firefox, whatever browser app that you're using. But I suggest to do it on the laptop if you are looking for kind of more extensive information, just because it's bigger, it's more easy to navigate on a laptop with a mouse rather than a cell phone or an iPad. Okay, so two ways. So the first way we're going to talk about is actually the mobile app way. So I'm going to stop this screen sharing so that I can share on my phone. So I'm going to share from my phone here. Let's see if this works. Okay, so this is my phone, which is right here. So it's the same screen that you're seeing. So way number one for Transparent Classroom mobile app. So once you go to the app, you would click to open. And then I put information in for Iris, who's my daughter, but she's in the infant class, so that I have something to show you without showing you someone else's information. So this is a sample of what you would see. So you can see it's reflected both on my phone and on the screen because I'm screen sharing. So at this basic level, you can see that Iris was introduced to putting on a jacket on November 15th. Iris, mastered tummy time, pushing up on her knees. She's 1 year old, so this is like very infant stuff. Holding a bottle, right? Things like that. November 11th. And then if you kept scrolling down, you could see some of the pictures that I uploaded that her teacher sent me of her in class. So that's like the basic that most likely you have kind of seen if you went to Transparent Classroom, right? So some of the activities that they're doing in class, what they're learning, what they're practicing, and then some pictures. And then if you went to photos on the bottom, right, that's activity, and then photos, it would just filter it for the photos on its own. I think somebody had asked in the questions if you could download the photos. You can actually download the photos. You click on the photo and there's the little arrow with the line underneath. I believe the iPhones can do this. I don't think the Androids can do this at this time, but you can actually download your photos if you wanted to save it for your own future reference. Okay, And then from there, if you wanted to go back, settings is just the basic iPhone setting. There's not much there. So the phone basically only has activity, photos, and setting, and that's the limitation. The activity though, you can, if it's highlighted in blue, click on it as well. So if I clicked on putting on a jacket on my phone, it would take me to the little deeper information. And you can see this actually turned into the website. So it opened on the browser that now is transparentclassroom.com. And it's telling you putting on a jacket. What is it? It's demonstrating how to put on a jacket independently. Why do we do it? It's basic independence and how to help at home. It actually gives you tips. And this is really the reason why we went with Transparent Classroom for this platform, because it gives you more insightful information, including how you can help at home for Montessori versus, all the elementary stuff didn't do this. So that's why we felt it was worth it. One of the reasons why we felt it was worth it to use this platform. Questions about the app at all? Those are really the basic functions of the app.
Does it cost the school money to access it?
It does.
How much does it cost?
I have to check. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I know that we pay per child. Other questions? Okay, then I'm gonna exit this app for now and stop sharing. And then I'm gonna go to the computer side. So I recommend, if you wanna see, again, more extensive information of the app, to use a computer browser or an iPad browser, just any web browser, really. Okay, can you see my browser with the Transparent Classroom okay? Okay, so this is transparentclassroom.com. Like, you go to any browser and you type in transparentclassroom.com and you use your login information. The home page, it'll show you similar to what the activity on the phone showed you, is basically putting on a jacket, what they've mastered, and then the pictures and the date that it was posted. The dates are the dates that it was posted. Most likely the teacher may or may not do it on the day of. Just gonna mute right there really quick. And we don't require them to do it on the day of, because we want them to spend the time in class with your students. We don't want them to be worried about, oh, I got to do this today. Like, let me put the student aside and focus on the phone. No, we want them to have this information so that you can have it, when it's convenient for the teacher, but not to take away time from the students in the classroom. So just note that those dates are probably approximate times. It may not be the day of. Okay. So once you get to the home page, you can click on your child's name. So I'm gonna use Iris again. Iris on the left, and then this is where it brings you a bunch of tabs where the bulk of the information is. So her profile, again, will look similar to what we've already seen. And then anything that's, again, in blue, you can click on. So that putting on a jacket. Once again, if I click on it, it tells you more information about it. And then if I go to progress, this is where it starts to get interesting in the details. So the progress tab, we have uploaded what Arborland expects of the curriculum for your child's age group. So if it's toddlers, you would see the toddler curriculum essentially. If it's primary, you would see the primary curriculum. If you are in one of the dual language classes, you may also have an additional like Spanish section or Mandarin section sort of thing. So from the teacher's perspective, they can introduce something that would be in light blue. They can show that your child is practicing something that is a little bit darker, middle blue, and then mastered is a dark blue. And if something needs more attention, needs more help, they would mark it in orange. So everyone should be able to access this under the progress. Anytime, a teacher will introduce something, they should be changing it to like an I, for example. So Iris has been introduced to putting on a jacket. And then you can see, so this is practical life, right? One of the basic subjects of Montessori. And then we have language. Again, this is infant. So this is a little bit different than what you may see for toddler and primary, but it should be relatively similar in that it has, dots among the curriculum. So primary, you definitely see a lot more math, language, you know, the letters, reading, all of that. Questions on this tab within the website? So I think we had a question previously about the pictures that I just saw. It's about the platform using it to share event pictures. We possibly could, but I think the only way for you to see it would be for us to tag it. So that would be an additional step to have to tag specific people for the picture versus I think Facebook is easier for us at this point because then we can just kind of upload in general instead of, you know, it's a lot of students to do individually, basically would be the difference. But it is possible, yes. Other questions on the progress section? So the other thing to look forward to in this is obviously there's a lot of dots that may not be touched yet. That means that is all the stuff that your child will still get to learn. So if you're looking at your math section, your language section, your practical life section, you know, those are things that they will be looking forward to within their 3-year cycle of the classroom, or for toddlers, 1.5-year cycle of the classroom. Okay, and then the photos tab, again, is similar to what I showed on the phone. It just gives you a summary of all the photos. Again, these photos are downloadable as well. So if you go to download all, you could download all the pictures if you wanted. I think if you click on one, you can download just that one picture, again, with that arrow with the line at the bottom. So any of the pictures that the teachers upload are downloadable. The other thing about the pictures is that the teacher may tag more than one child on it. So like this picture, for example, this is tagged for Cassian, Daphne, Iris, Lila, and Madeline, and they're all eating school lunch together at school. So you have an opportunity to see some of their friends and the names of some of their friends as well. The portfolio tab, I actually haven't seen anything on this yet. So unless anyone else would like to share what they may have seen personally, I'm probably going to skip over it for now. Let's see, we have a question. The progress goal categories will be the same for 3 years. So correct, it will be for 3 years. So ideally, if you are, I'm going to go back to the progress tab. If you are a 3-year-old within the 3-year cycle, you're not likely to have everything filled out by the end of the school year, which is how our progress reports normally work. By the end of the 3rd year, ideally, you want to have everything filled out. So don't expect at the end of this school year, if you have a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, to have all of this progress completed. The daily tracking tab now that I'm going to go forward on, this is meant for toddlers. So if you're a primary parent, you would not see this. For infants and toddlers, there's a requirement by the state that we have to track, you know, their food, their diapers, things like that, their nap times every single day. So this daily tracking is to replace the sheet of paper that we had already been doing for quite a while, but just to see it digitally instead. So again, I just put in a sample, but you would see the time that, you know, they went to the restroom, the time that they ate, the time that they napped, and then potentially some details as well if you clicked on the details tab. So I didn't put in that much for today, but let's see. If I look at yesterday's, it's more chronological, and then there could have been some notes there that teachers can put in as well. So again, this is for toddlers, not for primary. Because at the primary age as well, you can, you know, they're more vocal, they're able to share more, so it's not as needed. Questions for daily tracking? Let's see. Oh, Brandon's portfolio has songs they're learning. Good to know. So I will go back and look at Brandon's and see how that is connected. Thank you for sharing. Conference reports. So everyone hopefully had a teacher-parent conference last week or this week with the child's teacher. This is probably what your teacher shared with you during that conference. So the second main reason why we chose this platform was because it was able to integrate the progress that the students had in the classroom with the teacher and the lesson plans. So basically anything that was reflected on this progress report was actually from the progress itself. So if you think about from the teacher's perspective, as they're going along in the school year, as they're giving lessons, they can mark, right? That way, when it comes time for conference reports, they actually just have to basically like click a button and it generates the whole report for them. They don't need to go back and do like a whole 30 minutes of marking every single topic from the beginning. So that's the second reason, main reason why we chose to do this platform, to save the teacher some time during conference time. Let's see, I have a hand raised. Do I have a question?
Yeah, hi. This is Ritika, Naisha's mom.
Hi.
And I'm sorry I joined a little late, but I have a question that I have downloaded the app on my phone, and the interface doesn't look the same what you are showing me right now.
Correct.
You might have gone over it, but if we can, sorry about that,
Yes.
quickly get this question.
No problem. That's a great question. So the interface is different on the app. The app is very limited. So it only has like 2 basic functions. You can see the activity and you can see the photos. This is just any website. If you go to any browser, any web browser, Mozilla, Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, and you go to transparentclassroom.com and log in, this is what you will see.
Okay, so I should be using the browser to access this rather than the app.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
got it.
If you want a quick view, feel free to use the app. But if you want a little bit more extensive, detailed view, do use the web browser.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome. So if your teacher already went over the progress report with you, that's great. But you can click on it once you're done as well, so it'll still be there for you. The only difference between the progress report and the progress tab itself is that it has some of those like kind of beginning of the year or those summary type topics. So it has like the work habits, the social development, those type of comments that the teacher can then check prior to the conference time and put in. But everything else here, you can see the practical life section. It should reflect what's already in the progress tab. So it shouldn't necessarily be a surprise to you where your child's at and what your child's working on. So you can see here again, putting on a jacket, that was something that was introduced to Iris. So this is reflecting introduced. So she's practicing washing her hands in the sink. She's practicing, going through a tunnel. She's been introduced to carrying a tray, different things like that. So the progress report reflects the progress tab, main difference being it has this introduction part, and then it may have some written comments at the end, kind of more of a summary type thing. Questions on conference reports? Okay, the next tab then would be after the conference. The teacher should have sent you a parent-teacher conference acknowledgement form. There is different forms you could put, but so far the only thing we've used this form tab for is an acknowledgement. So you might have gotten something in email to tell you to click and sign. As a parent, you can, type in a comment. Thank you for the conference. Would, love to discuss more about blah, 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 if there's something that you would want to do. Or if not, that's great. That's okay as well. And then click to sign, and then you would submit. And that would sign from the parent. And then anytime you go back to your forms, again, you can see that it's still there. So the forms will still be there. And you can go back in and look if you want to. That's gonna take the place of we used to do a physical signature on the actual report. So now it'll be a digital signature, just for reports. questions on that? Okay, the attendance tab, I know most teachers are not using right now because we haven't asked them to use it. I know a couple teachers may be using it. So it would just show, basic attendance. If the teachers did put it in, it would actually generate into, I think, the conference report, where you would see like tardies and absences and things like that. But that's not something that we're requiring the teachers to do at this point. It is a function of the platform. So these are kind of the more detailed functions that we have here with Transparent Classroom. Something else, let's see, if I go to photos, this photo where multiple children were tagged in the same photo. If I was curious to learn more about Cassian, I know right now because you're not in the classrooms at all, it's really difficult, and a lot of times you want to know about your children's friends. Know that if they are tagged together, all the parents who are tagged are able to see that same picture. So if I clicked on Cassian, for example, it shows that mom is Roxana, and it actually shows her information as well. But this information is totally controlled by you. So what you would need to do is make sure that you went to the upper right corner of the web browser version, go to your profile, and then you can edit this information. So this is my husband's information. So you can see that his name, his email. If you don't want to share your information with anyone else, please click don't share. And that way, when it clicks to the parent, your information won't be shared. What's also important about here is that here's where you can get the notifications and how you set up your notifications. So if you want to see by email your child's photos, your child's presentations, your child's observations, your child's daily tracking for toddlers, or if you would rather get your photos by text, that's what you can click. So you can choose. You can also choose how frequently you want it. You can choose hourly, but the teachers are not going to send you hourly. So I believe hourly will send as soon as the teacher sends it or the teacher uploads it. Once a day, it'll send it at the end of the day. If you do once a week, obviously it'll send you information by whatever you choose, email or text once a week. But again, just because you choose hourly or once a day doesn't mean that you're going to get something hourly or once a day, because that's not our expectation of the teachers. If they happen to do it on that day, you will get it on that day if those are the choices that you choose. Questions? So this also controls the directory essentially as well. So if you went to the directory, you can see the parents of your child's friends. So again, if you don't want your information to show, make sure you click do not share. Okay. And the classmates as well. If you went to the classmates tab on the left, you can see that, oh, well, these are all the children who are in, your child's class. There is a help tab. The help tab has some basic tutorials, about the homepage, about some of the lessons, about photos, how to receive them, and then the directory. The About Us is about Transparent Classroom. If you're curious to learn more about the terms of use and about privacy. So if you're curious about what they do with this information, we have obviously set it to like most limiting. So to not share for anything. But this is what they do in the platform. So that if you're, if you have any like privacy concerns, please do read the privacy tab under the help section. Let's see. My child's presentations in the notification section. I believe the child's presentations are the lessons. So if a child had a lesson on like introduce to putting on a jacket, that would be what was showing up for the presentations. Other questions? Anytime you get an email, if you set your Transparent Classroom to email alerts, you would get it from notifications@transparentclassroom.com. The first one again was from that specifically. The rest of them look like they're from Arborland Montessori. So if you have a toddler, you should be getting, depending on the settings that you chose again, a summary of your child's day. So this is the daily tracking. Again, primary will not get this. If you got an email about completing the parent-teacher conference acknowledgement, that's what it would look like. When the conference report was published by your teacher, you would have gotten something like this. So if you had set your email notifications, you would be receiving emails to the email that you input. Yes, I have a hand raised.
Yes, I'm sorry. I logged in a little late as well. Why is primary not included in the daily updates? Was that covered?
Yes, definitely. No problem. So primary, the requirements for primary and toddler infant are different because infants and toddlers, they cannot speak as well yet. They cannot express themselves as well yet. So it's a requirement by the state that all schools give daily reports. And it's daily reports based on their basic needs like eating, napping, diapering, toileting, those sorts of things. By the time you get to primary, it's a little bit more standard so that you don't need that on a daily basis. If there are things that you're concerned about, like how much did my child eat, that would be something that's good to communicate to your child's teacher so that they can, make sure to give you separate updates on that. But it's not a requirement for, a blanket requirement for the whole age group. That's why. So for primary, you would be getting more like lesson learning objectives rather than like daily basic needs sort of thing on a daily basis. And then the lesson objectives is not per day. It's, per week or maybe bi-weekly at most, at minimum, actually, bi-weekly at minimum. And then I have another chat question, I think. Oh, okay, thank you. Other questions? So this is what you would see in the email, to the email that you're using to log into Transparent Classroom.
Hi, Veronica. I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Geeta, Radha's mom in Miss Curry's class.
Yes.
So I was just going back to what you said about the directory, how you can choose to share or not share your information. So I was just looking at mine and I checked the box to share my email and my phone number.
Okay.
And to don't share my address. But then when I go and look on it on the directory, it's showing the address as well. But when I go back to the edit settings in the profile section, the don't share box is still checked. So I don't know.
I can double check on that. It may be because it's your own profile. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else may not be able to see it, or I don't know if anybody from Classroom C who's on, or sorry, Ms. Curry's class is on, who may be able to verify that. But it should be that if you click do not share, it doesn't share it with everyone else.
Okay, yeah, just the address part. Okay, yeah, if you don't mind checking to see on your end how it looks.
Sure.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yes, another raised hand from Geeta.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay, sorry. Lower hand. Okay. And then I think the other, so let me go stop sharing and let me share my presentation again really quick for a couple other questions. So it was very useful because we did the survey. So I got some questions from the survey, and then I also had some questions just from, the registration process for this as well. So here are some of the questions that parents asked. One asked if we could post the lunch menu on this. And so at this time, we weren't planning on posting other things, including lunch menu and upcoming events, because those are all posted on our website. So if you actually went to arborland.com, under the parents corner, we have every month's lunch menu. And then if you scroll down a little bit, we also have upcoming events in there as well. Upcoming events are also on our lunch menu. So make sure you take a look at our website for that information. Someone else asked if you can message your teacher through Transparent Classroom. So you cannot. You can, through the directory, find their email, but then you'd basically be emailing them. Or if they have their phone number available, obviously you could text them as well. But it's basically email. So if you just want to email them directly, that's probably quicker than going through the app, opening the app, going to the directory to get their email and things like that. Teacher observations, where would you be able to see that? If the teacher put it in, you would be able to see it under the activity, your basic like summary list that comes up. So it may see, they're usually putting in their observations as they go. So if they put in a specific lesson, or, the child was extra happy today, or the child seemed a bit tired today, they may tag that under that same activity. You'll see it in the activity. YouTube links. We had a couple questions about the YouTube links. So I'm glad that you were actually able to access, because I wasn't sure. I don't know if Leslie can share a little bit about the YouTube links. Are you able to actually click on them? Because there was a question that another parent, or maybe you weren't able to click on them. And if you're busy, it's okay. Yes, you can click on them. Okay, perfect. So you could, I know that Classroom A with the dual language program, Shi Laoshi uploaded Mandarin songs. So she included the YouTube link on the progress report, and it looks like it in the portfolio section, so that the parents are able to click and hear the songs and see the songs that the children are learning in class too. So you can sing along at home. Videos of children. Another question a parent asked was, obviously we can see photos. Can we see videos too? Unfortunately, the platform is not made for videos. It probably because videos take up so much more space, and it would require them to figure out data issues of storing all of those videos. And so that's not something that they offer. If a parent asks how specifically their child is doing, the best way to get an answer to that is to actually ask your child's teacher. So I highly, highly encourage, if you are not sure how your child is doing, please communicate with your child's teacher, send them an email, leave a message with the office. We can get them a message as well to contact you. Don't sit on any concerns. Please communicate, please let us know. Otherwise we won't know how to help.
Jonathan, where is it going to? There's no two-person. Oh, got it.
Okay, and then, so our expectations of the teachers, because we also got some comments like, oh my gosh, it seems like so much work. It is a lot of work. Not gonna put it lightly, but our expectations of the teachers is to do weekly or bi-weekly updates for primary and toddlers based on the lesson and the learning progress. So again, if you have primary, please do not expect to see something every day. That's just not realistic, because the teachers are in the classroom teaching your students, and we don't want to take time away from them from that. We want to make sure they're spending as much time in the classroom with your child as possible teaching, not inputting things onto an iPad. So weekly or bi-weekly is more the expectation for them. And plus too, if you think about learning, if your child gets a lesson on something on Monday, it may take them a couple weeks to actually get it, right? So you're not going to see that they're going to have repeated lessons over and over and over and over that whole week, because they are practicing in the classroom. They're working on it. They are learning. It just takes time to master some of these skills. Okay. The daily toddler report or the daily tracking will be daily for, again, only for toddlers, not for primary students. And then the use of the progress report is another expectation that we have for the teachers for parent-teacher conferences. That's where we're starting right now with this app, those three basic things in terms of our expectations for the teachers. And I think they're enjoying it, they're liking it, and some of them have actually converted from pen and paper over to transparent classroom now for their lesson planning. So our expectation of you, the parents, that would be a great help to us, is if you could check the content when it's available. If it's via email, via the app, via the web browser, via text, whatever notification form you chose to do, that's how it's going to get sent to you. But you can always, always, always check the web browser. And I strongly suggest that you check the web browser here or there just for more detailed information. Again, our expectation is also, this is not like the only way to communicate with us, with your teacher. So please let us know if you have other, if you're happy about things, if you're concerned about things. Don't just depend on the platform to say, oh my gosh, that looked like a terrible day for my child, or why is my child not learning anything? Don't worry about that. Please let us know if whatever concerns you have. This is just one way. There's lots of ways to communicate, and there's lots of things that are happening in the classroom that we're still not able to capture, you know, on a daily basis. Any questions? That was kind of the end of what I had mostly planned on sharing. Did anyone else find any other use of transparent classroom that maybe I didn't go over? That maybe you have more insight on? You're welcome, you're welcome. And I'm just going to share our website really quick that I had mentioned earlier. Again, if you're looking for lunch menu, parent handbook, that's all on our website, arborland.com, and then the tab for Parents Corner. You can see right here, school calendar, lunch menu, upcoming events. This would be the better place to search for things like that. And we do have Thanksgiving next week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have childcare if you signed up, but no official school. And then Thursday, Friday, we are completely closed for Thanksgiving for everyone to enjoy family time. If no other questions, feel free to leave. I appreciate your time. I appreciate being here. I'll send out you know, the link to the video as well, in case anyone missed it and want to watch it over. Again, if you have any questions or you come across anything that doesn't seem to work, feel free to, you can message me. My email is missveronica@arborland.com. Chat that over to everyone, but I also emailed everyone directly actually with the invite. So you have my direct email. Look forward to seeing you around campus, hopefully. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.